Hi, everybody. Hey, you made it. Day two. How to make money with email. Have we made any money yet? Anybody? Are you rich because of email? Just one day? Donna, come on, shaking your head. Um, is this false advertising? What is this marketing fluff that people are throwing at you? Well, hey, how did it go yesterday? If you're joining me for the second session and you've skipped the first session, well, if you're live, stay with me. You'll get the gist of it. If you are watching the recording, pause, go back, watch the first one. Put it on 2x speed. I sound great as a chipmunk, by the way, and you'll get the gist of what we're doing here today. Um, do you remember way back when, 24 hours ago, when you were a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, fresh um, coming into this mastermind with hopes and dreams. And then what I did is I just dove into this whole thing about a quick start guide, and I asked you to just suspend your skepticism for a second and just follow me on the journey. I've been thinking about that. I thought about you in the shower um, because I was thinking perhaps that was too abrupt. Let me pause for just a second and give you some context of what we're trying to do. I mentioned this yesterday. And I just want to say it again. We are building a system. I'm speaking, actually, one of the things I was thinking about is I'm speaking at KIT's conference it's next week, actually. They do an annual conference, and I'm going to be talking about list growth. Ta-da! And there's a whole lot of things that you could be doing to grow your list. But it really comes down to the basics that we talked about yesterday, and we can't emphasize this enough. So much of this whole thing is we're overthinking the main transaction, which is I will give you something of value in exchange for your email address. That's it. And something of value can be literally anything. I have been joined to people's lists because I was interested in a ChatGPT prompt. I've joined people's lists because I wanted a checklist. I joined Rick Steves' list because I was downloading a piece of audio. Okay, so it can be truly anything. And my dearest content creator friends, this is what you do so well. What we've been talking about is the quick start guide concept. It's just one of many ways to do this. I love it for the reasons that I outlined yesterday. Those are it solves a problem. It gives us an excuse to be in their inbox for 5 days in a row, which is pretty powerful when they don't really know you at all. And you get a chance to kind of convince them that you're awesome. And we drive them back to the website. But it can be all sorts of other things. We talked about that yesterday too. So if you learn nothing else from this whole mastermind, to make more money usually starts with growing your list faster. So if you will just learn, adopt, and systematize this concept of the I will give you something in exchange for your email address. Like Marta says, don't overthink it. Okay. It doesn't have to be this big overproduced thing, as you've already seen with the quick start guide. All right. Let's get into it. How did it go, folks? Did anybody struggle? Nobody? Everybody got it? Let's hear from somebody. What was the process like as you went through it? Anybody get it done? Um, Emily, you don't count. Your second time around. You're no fair. All right. Eliza, did you raise your hand? How'd it go? Unmute. Tell me the gist of how it went.
I actually found it very simple to do based on your instructions, where I'd struggled with it before. I surveyed my readers a few weeks ago, so I figured out the types of content that they most want to read and put it in order for 5 days. I'm looking at a 5 day quick start guide to simple living because one of my blogs is about simple living.
Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Well, when you when you do the survey, that does give you a whole lot of ammunition to things to be thinking about and kind of makes things a little bit simpler too. Awesome. I love that you did that. Great. I'm glad that it's a little bit of a, it sounds like a little bit of a breakthrough. Got
Definitely.
Reka, I'm sure I'm saying your name wrong. Reka, it was good to get you thinking seriously and hopefully come up with 3 or 4 guides tonight. Whoa, all right. Yes, 3 or 4 guides. Yes. She's you're the one on the other side of the globe, aren't you? I can't believe you're staying up this late. Uh, Once we nailed down the topic, the email part was quick and easy. Good. All right. Let's do this together then. If you are still stuck, you don't have a concept, you didn't get going for whatever reason, that's okay. You get one makeup, and this is it. All right. So bang it out today. If you are stuck, let me help you. Stick around at the end, and I will we'll come up with something together. Okay. Um, Now, I'm going to show you very briefly in a very rudimentary form what we're going to do in the next couple of days before we continue on. Um, what I have here is this super fancy graphic. Remember, when somebody like me is doing a mastermind like this, it has to be cookie cutter advice. I can't give you an exact template for your business. So please take this, think about the concepts that we're going to be discussing and how does that apply to your business. But what we're doing here, these yellow boxes could be anything from that brings somebody into your list. Quick start guide, bonus content like a printable or a checklist or an ebook. It could be a save this article, save this recipe. It could be print pass. It could be also whatever gets people into the list. Now they're on the list. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about a couple of different ways that you can send your awesome content. The first one that we'll talk about is an evergreen automated sequence called the Forever Series. The idea here is that you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again and keep reinventing the wheel. It's like a welcome series that doesn't end. And I'll explain all that in a little bit more detail tomorrow. Of course, seasonality matters. So if you're not sending anything, you should definitely be sending something seasonal because people care about what to make at Thanksgiving time here in the United States, or what to make for the Super Bowl, or when the fall leaves change, where should we go for a drive to see that foliage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'll also talk about briefly how you can use RSS to your advantage. I don't love it. I don't hate it either. So I'm going to give you some things that you can do there. Of course, this is going to be very, very general, but I'm going to give you, if you're just getting going, this will be a great place to start. All right. Yesterday, I offered this up and then tried to do a bait and switch and make you actually pay for it. And somebody caught me on it. And so I fixed the code. And I think if you haven't gone and get it, go get it now. It works. Okay. Thank you. Go to emailandautopilot.com and type in that code at checkout, and you should be able to have access to it if you haven't yet. Okay. I have a handful, and it's not very many, of people that were willing to let me look at their quick start guide and talk about the writing part today. If that is you, if you are willing to share with me today, I will go through everybody's as quickly as I can and give you some feedback. The first few will get the most attention because that's where we'll dive into some core concepts. But I'm happy to look at everybody's, assuming that we've got time. Drop your Google Doc into the chat, and I will pick it up from there. Make sure that I have access to edit if I can. All right. I believe I've got a couple here. Where'd it go? Let me pull this up. All right, here we've got Donna and Mandy. Allison's getting in on the action. Okay, and if somebody else wants theirs, drop it in here. This is, whoever this is, I've just sent you an email. It might be, what's the second one? Mandy, check to see if you've given me access there. All right. Becky, oh, here we come. All right, Maureen, Becky, awesome. This was Maureen, so grant me access. And off we go. All right, Anya, you bet. All right, who's my first victim? Now, while you're arguing over it and arm wrestle, I'm going to share with you what I'm going to tell you. I haven't even seen these yet, but I can already tell you what I'm going to tell you. First of all, do you remember what I said yesterday? People don't read, they skim when it comes to emails. So you've got to get to the point. Your words really, really matter. So trim your word count in half. Whatever you have written or whatever AI wrote for you, challenge yourself to cut half the words out. You can do it. And even if it's not half the words, 25% will make it a tighter email. Okay? Get to the point. I love myself some good subheaders. As you'll see with the formatting, I'll probably enter one or two into one of these documents that you've got here. And the reason for that is because it's skimmable. All right? People don't read this stuff. Big blocks of text are a no-no. You'll notice that when I write, very seldom do I have more than one sentence in a paragraph, maybe two. I love subheaders for formatting. I love buttons because people know what it is that we're doing. I don't have it on here, but I love bullet points and bolds and emojis and all the things that catch the eye. All right. So formatting is it certainly helps with your copywriting. This is an important one. I'm gonna push you today, if it's not obvious to me, what problem you're solving with either the email or your theme. Yeah, don't worry about the formatting in the email just yet. I'll go through that. It's fine. But as far as what problem you're solving, if we swing and we miss here, if you make me think as a reader, you've lost. Okay? It has to be super clear. That's the same thing as getting to the point, but the most important point is what problem you solve for me. And then we'll talk about subject lines. I mentioned this yesterday. My favorite subject line formula is curiosity plus self-interest. Now, I mentioned this yesterday. I got a question on it in the email, so I'll just address it here. I did talk about it yesterday, but I'm happy to talk about platforms beyond this if you want. But Kit is my platform of choice. It used to be called ConvertKit. If you decide you want to give it a try, or you even want to move, moving is a hassle. I will help you along with the Kit team move for free. If you'd like that help, just let me know. I've done it approximately 1 billion times, so I know how to make it painless. Again, that's just the platform of choice that I love. So let me shill for it one more time. Okay, moving on. Do we decide who's going first, or shall I just pick this one? Whose is this? All right, will you unmute, Anya? You don't mind being my first one, do you?
Of course, Anya, yes, you're right.
Okay, so look, before I look at this, before I dive into this, I want to apologize in advance. Anything that I say is mostly me just trying to justify my existence on this call going forward. What you wrote here is fantastic, probably works wonderful. Okay, so with that in mind, let me take a look here. All right. Free, super simple sourdough course. Anya, why'd you choose sourdough?
Because I have been doing it for probably 40 years of my life. I can not stop talking about it. And I have a method that's very different from everybody else's. I know it works for people who want, and I'm saying that in one of them, who want no measurements, no complicated instructions, no lengthy details, no discards, no feedings. That's my crowd, and that's who I'm speaking to.
Okay.
People who've been frustrated because it was all too overwhelming and it was all too much and too detailed and like 5 grams of this and 10 grams of that is like, that's not their cup of tea.
Cool. Those are amazing reasons. And then there's the other reason that you mentioned to me yesterday, which I'll fill in the blank for you, which you're actually getting a bunch of traffic to your sourdough posts. Yes. So we know that this audience, sourdough is like this special alien organism from a different galaxy that we don't quite understand by science.
I did an off-the-cuff video on YouTube 4 years ago. That went viral, and it's still my top performing video on YouTube. It's 4 years old. It's really poorly done. Don't go watch it. It's the best advertisement for this video.
Well, You know what? You've already made some converts here with people
Aw,
based on the comments. Look at this
you're making me
supportive group.
blush. Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into it. So first of all, I'm going to very briefly. Your title matters a lot. We're going to come back to that. We remember if the whole thing of somebody signing up is Martha goes to your website or to your channel of choice, consumes your content. We throw a pop-up in front of them, we put a form in front of them, and we just hope and pray that they sign up. We increase our odds by making it in that moment, super catchy. And somehow it's going to
Split-second
solve their
decision. Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Um, and then the emails inside of that are, they're not, they're secondary, but they're obviously super important. We're going to come back to the title here in just a second. I'm going to do a few things here. This is just Matt Molinisms. When I do these, I like to greet them. Hi there. If we've asked for their name, it's not mandatory, by the way. Personalization is nice, but if it creates extra friction on a form, I will skip the first name thing. For example, I'll get into the pop-ups tomorrow, but on mobile devices, I typically don't have a first name field on a pop-up form, but I do on desktop. So, but if I have it, I will say their name if we've got it. Hi there, so and so. I like to, with the first one, I like to welcome them to the welcome to day one of insert title here, whatever it is. And the reason I like doing this is because this is a thing. It's kind of a product that they're signing up for. So we're attaching the experience of seeing the form that you signed up for with now I've got this email. Oh yes, that's that thing I signed up for. Have you been frustrated with sourdough or maybe too intimidated to get started, or have you tried and failed? This is literally the easiest way to get started with sourdough. No measurements, too good to be true. Check it out. Okay. Wow. You definitely took People Don't Read, They Skim to heart. I love it. Um, on this first one, we might do just a little bit more, not too much.
I wasn't overthinking it, so
No. This is
yeah.
fantastic. This will work great. Um, on the first one, the only little things that I might add in here is context for the whole rest of the series. So, have you ever? This might be something like, you'll fix my words, by the way. My words don't matter. Over
Yeah,
the
this
next
popped up. Yeah.
5 days, I'll share my 40 years of sourdough baking, 40 years of secrets of sourdough baking in just 5 emails. By the time you're done, you'll something.
Right.
Okay. And here, I'm going to start with something like,
Okay.
all right, now, that's over a little bit, but why am I doing this? Let's skim this bad boy. All right. I've read the subject line. I've opened it up. Hi there, Matt. Welcome to day one of insert title here. Oh, yeah, that's that thing I signed up. Have you ever been frustrated with sourdough? All right. I'm not even reading the rest of this because, yeah, I know what she's talking about. Over the next 5 days, 40 years. Okay. There's a little humble brag. Establishes very, very quickly your expertise without giving them the
My
whole,
age.
without giving them a whole lot of this.
But I actually started when I was really small because I was over my mom's shoulder.
That's
because I
right.
never
Yeah.
actually started learning about it.
Just a wee infant. And by the time you're done, you'll blank. What they're doing is they're really probably just going to skip right to this. The easy way to start with sourdough.
That screams at them. Yes.
And then they're going to go blah, 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 glaze over with that. And then they're going to
And
get
there's
to
going to be a
click your
button.
link, right?
There's an image and a button, and yeah, they'll click on it hopefully.
Okay. Now you don't have to. So the question I get a lot is, should you do images? The answer is maybe. Test it. Remember, this is part branding as well.
Mhm.
We really, really want the click. My experience and studies have shown that images, you actually get fewer clicks with food when you include the image. However, I am still, for my quick start guides, I'm defaulting to do that because usually my clients have invested a lot in photography. The visual matters a ton. And so it is part of the communication that I know what I'm doing. So there's that balance. And I can't answer that for you other than to try it. And what are you optimizing for? Um, uh, how to make your sourdough starter from scratch. Great. Now you could also do something like, if you want to tease them, this is obviously not mandatory in any way.
Well, I could play with it and just see, what it does to open rates and so forth.
Something like that, right? But not a ton, and this will work fine.
Mhm.
Okay. So I like what you did here. Let me look at the rest of these real fast. Same deal. I'm going to format these the same way.
Right.
I obviously don't need this second paragraph, but typically my formula, folks, is welcome, state the problem, subheader that tells them you have the solution to the problem, and any little details, and then links to the solution.
Right.
You made your first sourdough starter, but did you? How do you know it's ready? Okay, excellent. I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say here. Anya is giving us the minimalist approach, and I'm here for it. That's great. All right.
I know people want to skim. Nobody has the time or energy to read long stuff. And so, no, I get it. I'd rather just catch their attention while I have it versus wearing them out.
I have a couple of thoughts that are not necessarily related to the writing.
Okay.
So this is, we don't have to spend any more time on this, but one thought is there a place for just more recipes in here? Is it possible that somebody came to your website, found sourdough, and doesn't necessarily need the basics, but just wants inspiration about great things to do with sourdough? Is it possible that somebody who got started with sourdough just needs to now make this, and less technical this, or the science or whatever? It's like literally learned by baking.
Right.
Might be a consideration.
Right.
You'll probably get more clicks when you have like sourdough pancakes and sourdough
Yeah, the easy
cinnamon rolls and
yeah.
yeah.
the-
And
So
ultimately,
even in day one, I should include a recipe.
well, in day one, you're starting out here. What you could do, since this is the big main topic, and but you wanted to test it, you could say something like, uh, I don't know.
Okay. Mm.
I mean, you literally could do something like this that's just like doesn't say too much, but it's like if you're ready to go, try these recipes.
Okay.
But yeah, but the main point is with sourdough success is,
Yeah.
okay, that's just a
But what
thought.
about, what about the title for the whole the super sub what I have on
Yeah,
my website in my banner or my pop-up or whatever?
yeah, great question. So,
Because I've
um,
been fiddling with it because there's too many words, but maybe too close to what is it, the forest to see the trees, or the other way around.
yeah,
So anyhow, you know what I mean.
totally. Um, so let's back up for a second. I want you to not look at this. As succinctly as possible, what does this series do?
It teaches people a different way to do sourdough. That's super easy.
Okay, I think the emphasis is on the easy.
Yeah. And
Um,
uncomplicated, simplified, all those words.
Yeah, you can jazz it up however you want. You can talk about modern, the new way, the uh, the lazy person's way, however you want to put it. You could do something like that. So we need to pop that. All right, that needs to
Right.
be the thing. Now everybody's going to say easy, but when you said up here, now I'm not saying that this is what the words that you were going to use, but if you were going to use these words, super simple sourdough, that's not terrible. But if you said the easy way to make sourdough in 2025,
Hmm.
that conveys that there's this new system, and it's not new, but it's new to them,
Right.
that is relevant for right now.
Mhm.
That's just my first riff on it. Now, here's the trick. And Emily, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to chime in on your comment, okay? Throw out the scale is really good. It's punny, it's cute. The challenge I have with that as the main header is it's not clear. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And I have this much time to get them. Now, if you say the easy way to make sourdough in 2025, and then the subheader is throw out the scale, dot, 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 with these methods. Just it's all about clarity trumps persuasion.
Mhm.
We only have that much time.
Right. Right.
We can't be boring. We can't be confusing.
Needs to be super snappy and precise at the same time.
That's
Yeah.
right. Super hard. Sourdough without the scale, that's much closer, right? If
Great.
if the scale thing is the thing that holds everybody back. All right, I'm going to move on for the sake of time.
Thank
Anya,
you.
one thing that you didn't ask me, that many people do ask, is how do you end something like this? What I typically do in email number 5 is I say something like, "Hope you enjoyed," series title. From time to time, I'll be back in your inbox with more delicious and simple recipes. Something basic.
Right. So they know
Not,
that they'll be merged into my general list. Yeah.
that's right. They're on the list. It does not promise that it's every third Thursday. It doesn't say it's going to be specifically about sourdough. It doesn't say it doesn't commit you to anything because you don't want to have to come back and edit this every time you change up your email strategy. So just something general.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank
Looks
you.
great. Good start. Thanks for being our first one.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
All right, who's my vegan here? Is this Becky? Becky, are you with me?
Here I am. Sorry.
Am I looking at yours?
Okay. Yes, that's mine.
Okay. Now, before I get going, you heard me say whatever I said to Anya. What am I going to tell you?
It definitely needs some subheadings,
Okay.
and it's very short.
Normally, my class doesn't have this problem. Normally, it's like everybody's like super wordy, and I'm like trimming it back. You guys are, you took the people don't read skimming thing to heart, and I think that's great. All right, let's take a quick look then. Let me look at it with fresh eyes. Hi, Matt. Welcome to day 1 of the best vegan recipes for summer. You bet they are the best. Today we're looking at okay, so this is probably a place where you might do, like I mentioned, a just real quick, what you're going to get. What problem does this whole series solve? And what you're going to get for the next 5 days. So in this case, all right, that's just off the top of my head. I haven't thought about it at all.
Okay.
You can take it or leave it, do what you want. But the gist of it is, Martha doesn't know you at all, dropped in here. You might even say something. You notice I'm balancing. I'm walking a fine line of communicate who you are, communicate what you do without spending a lot of time on it. What you could say something like is in here, similar to what we did with sourdough on the last one, something like.
Can Maybe I've been vegan for almost 20 years. Maybe I know
Okay.
40 years stuck out.
Yeah. Dang it. Uh, something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want a little bit of that. Or you could even say if you have other credentials, as a vegan of 20 years who's also created and tested over 10,000 vegan recipes, I can tell you that we don't have to miss out on the taste and the fun.
hmm
Yada,
Yeah.
yada, yada. Then, of course, day one, something like that, right? Whatever you're going to say. And then today we're looking at side dishes for summer cooking. My go easy. Okay, great. See you tomorrow when I'm going to share my absolute. Okay, fantastic.
I did write that end thing like during the class just now.
Becky, I don't need to know all the secrets, you know? Just like I was over here going, man, look, she's already gets it. It's like she's
Yeah,
reading my
I'm a pro.
mind. You know, yeah. All right. Any questions anything that you're worried about with this before we move on?
I don't know if you're going to get to this later in the class series, but since this is obviously seasonal, is there a way to be like from June, July, August, this is my series, September through November, this is my series, or pick your dates. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. No. So what you're going to do, what email platform are you using?
I'm using MailerLite.
Okay. So MailerLite has the equivalent of sequences. They call them automations or workflows. I can't remember. Um, anyway, you're going to find the button that says duplicate. And you're going to make a copy of that sequence once you've created the summer one. And you're going to go in everywhere where it says summer, you're going to switch to fall. And then you're going to change these words to be autumn. And then you're going to switch out your recipes. And presto, you have the next one. And your pop-up come Labor Day, you're going to just stop showing the summer pop-up on your website, and you're going to turn on the autumn pop-up that will point to the autumn guide.
Okay.
It's not more complicated than that.
So I'll be manually switching this
Oh
throughout the
yeah.
year. Okay.
Yeah. You're going to
There's no
want
way to tell it to do it itself.
well, find your Google Calendar and just put a note on there to do it on, the day after Labor Day, and you'll be good.
Oh yeah, that's smart. Okay.
um, and then do it again for every season or every month. Ideally, you get in the habit of. And I got to tell you, Becky, with you have the opportunity to dive deeper here than a lot of your food cohorts do with vegan recipes. The need is stronger. The open rates are greater. The click rates are greater. The audience is more involved. If I'm you, I'm thinking about doing monthly quick start guides.
Oh, okay.
All right, looks great. Off we go. Any questions before I move on to the next one? All right, awesome. Let's take a look here let me answer questions here. Is there any value in asking people to be funneled into another email sequence? Sure, you can absolutely do that. It's going to depend on your business model and what you're trying to accomplish. I'm going to give some examples of that exact same thing, Hannah, on Thursday. All right, and I'll show you how I recommend, or different ways that you can think about that. So that's great suggestion. I just don't want to confuse things right now. So the first email in the series shouldn't be a tip email, but the intro into the series. You can do it either way, Marta. You can have it be, you can go right into it. You can have it be the first one. There's not necessarily a rule, but typically with my first email, like we're doing in these, I want to get them usable content right away. Remember, Martha doesn't know us. She signed up for this thing. She's already forgotten she signed up for this thing. But when email one comes and solves my first problem, boom, I'm ready to rock. Okay. Now that we mentioned the problem, we saw. Okay. Well, Emily, if you have questions, I'll handle those too. All right. Should we include a one sentence introduction of ourselves? I'm Danielle, a non-judgmental vegan of food civilization. I want you to eat health. I think that's great. Yes. Look, there's not a rule here. The principle I'm trying to convey is be brief. People aren't going to read it unless you are a little bit more concise. All right, just keep that in mind. And we're doing super minimalistic here with many of these. I have some that are certainly more verbose. It's not like there's a right or wrong way to do this. It's just more that core principle. So for the purposes of these illustrations, I go as brutally just to show that you can literally have an email that is like 2 sentences long and you would be fine. It literally would work. And it might work better than anything else you do. I, I have this poor client, not a poor client, she's awesome. But she had built the most beautiful welcome series you'd ever seen. And it like truly gorgeous. And I went in there and I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is beautifully done, it's beautifully written. And nobody was clicking anything. I've got other people that have emails that are as long as this right here, and they will get way more engagement and clicks. And it's a white background, Arial font, plain text email. Okay. So yes, we just have to think, what are we optimizing for? And remember who it is that is reading this. What do they really, really need? All right, Maureen, you can probably guess what I'm going to tell you already. That it's perfect. Good work. Hi, Matt. Welcome to day one of my 5 secrets to authentic Lebanese cooking. Spice is absolute key. All the same things that we've talked about here apply definitely for you, probably as much as anybody here, just like with the veganism example or the sourdough example, your Lebanese subject matter expertise. What specific problem do you have? Do people have? I think, plopping that right about here. But brief. They don't need the whole life story. But understanding that you are 3rd generation Lebanese cooking, it's been passed down, you're a cookbook author, YouTube, done over 500 YouTube videos on whatever it may be. Little small humble brags, just enough to get the point across. And by the way, this is not the only point where we can do humble brags. We have other emails coming where we can also communicate that stuff. We also can do footers in these emails down below. Like imagine that this ends with XO Maureen, and then about me. Okay. So, but the main point is that they want them to click on is the problem that we're solving for them. Okay. Maureen, these, excellent. Okay, these do come back to your website. Good. The different spices. I kind of feel, this is a Matt Mullen thing, this is maybe completely wrong. I kind of feel like I want a recipe in here, I want to go make something with the sumac. Even if it's bullet points, like 3 things to so imagine that you had this is too long. I don't like it already. But something like this. I don't know. I want more clicks. I want people to get in there and I want them to go make something. It's one thing to put a spice in the pantry. It's another thing to go, I could do this for dinner tonight, Does that make sense?
Yeah, much more interesting.
By the way, the question is, could you put there's not really a formatting right or wrong here, but couldn't you just put the recipes linked in a sentence so it doesn't get longer? Sure. that would work fine too. The reason I like bullet points is people can easily skim bullet points. Like you could take almost any run-on long sentence or whatever and then drop it into bullet points, and it's just easier for people to absorb. And so that's one of the reasons I do that. Okay, so we start with spices. Then we talk about meze, I don't know. How do you say it?
Maza.
Oh man, that was way off. Okay. Load them up. Day 3, kebabs, good. Lebanese salads, stuffed vegetables. Okay. Any questions for me, Maureen?
Well, I feel like these don't the individual links each have some good language that I think draws them in, but I don't think that the start of each email does. I'm like spices are key to achieving flavor
Okay,
is
so
sort
let's
of
say
a
you were teaching a community college class on this topic. What would you say about spices? You would walk in the door and say, "Hey,
this is
everybody,
how
you ready to learn authentic Lebanese cooking? Spices are absolutely key to achieving the flavor that makes Lebanese food shine." Is that what you would say?
no. If you want your food to have Lebanese flavor, you need to use Lebanese spices.
Okay, that's what you say. That resonated with me. That didn't sound robotic or canned. It was like, as somebody who knows what Lebanese food should taste like, you just said it in a way that I understand. It doesn't need to be longer than that, probably. If it doesn't use these, these spices, it's not Lebanese. It's not true Lebanese. It's not authentic Lebanese cooking. Um, yeah.
And I was going to the way my emails are typically set up, it's with a photo, that little write up, and a button.
Great. Yeah, people know what to do with those for sure. That's really easy for them to navigate. I don't see any problem. I do most of mine that way as well. It's usually my quick start guide roundups or title, image, button. And certainly if you want to have like a little description in there too, drop that in there for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, by the way, this is a good point for us to talk to. I haven't really read any of these. These, and this happens, I'm speaking to my food creators right now. Quite often you'll see that format where it'd be like salad, and then it has a description, maybe an image, and then a button. Do not bore me with descriptions. I'm not saying don't give me descriptions. I'm saying don't bore me. Give me something to read. Give me something that matters. If you said, let's imagine that this was, these are, let's find them. Okay, words that, I'm just going to pick on Maureen for a second here, Maureen, okay? So words that don't get me to do anything are Summer's grilled meats and vegetables get ready to chop. It's a worth it salad loaded with lemony flavor. That's cute. That's good prose if you're typing it out. But really, what would work better is the number one salad in Lebanese cooking, period. Cucumber yogurt salad. My personal favorite Lebanese salad. 5 out of 5 stars, 2,500 reviews. Wouldn't that get you to actually pay attention to it? This fattoush, the video went viral on TikTok. Say that stuff.
Okay.
The rest
That's
of
great.
my weekly craving right here means, unless that's all you said, that's still a little fluffy, right? If you went like that. But it's easier to read. All the rest of it is blah, blah, blah. I'm totally just picking on Maureen. You know, Maureen, that I'm just using this as
It's great.
example. Okay.
This is why I'm here.
All right. Okay. So this goes for everybody. If you're in travel, if you're in crafts, here is your best friend. Your best friend's first name is social. The last name is proof. Use social proof on everything. You can't overdo it. My most popular, my highest rated, my husband's favorite, my wife's favorite, my partner's favorite. Picky eaters love this. Went viral on Pinterest. #1 on Google. Do you see what I'm doing? 4.9 out of 5 stars. You have that information. And if not that, you have your own personal favorites. My go-to every week. I make this every week. Stuff like that. Okay. The rest of this, they're seeing a picture with a kebab on there. They see that it has meat and veggies on it. You don't need to tell them that it has meat and veggies on it unless there's something important about that. All right, moving on. Maureen, great work. I do suggest adding in, like you said, a little bit of that flavor to the beginning of the email so that you feel comfortable with it. At the beginning of yours, I think there's an opportunity for what problem you solve with the series.
Great.
A humble brag, as we did with the other ones. But yeah, you're dang close. Dang
Great,
close.
thank you.
Marta asked if we mentioned that the recipe is a hit on YouTube, we're linking to that YouTube video, right? Not necessarily. There's not a rule here. You're pointing them to a recipe that happened to go viral on a different platform, but those are all factual statements, aren't they? So whatever serves them best, and they can get to the YouTube video from the recipe if you want. Or if you want to increase your YouTube followers, then sure, send emails that drive people to the YouTube channel with an embedded subscribe link to it as well. So any and all of those things for sure. Okay, what other questions did I miss? I'm sorry, I got a little hung up. Subject lines. We should really do some subject lines. I have just really skipped over them. Okay, I will in the next one. Can I run multiple quick start guides at the same time about different topics and then funnel them into the same Journal Forever series? Absolutely. What you'll find here is you might have a quick start guide that is for your site-wide, and then you might have one that is, I don't know, a category quick start guide. So your slow cooker category, maybe you've got a ton of slow cooker recipes, but not everybody needs that. So you just show that pop up on that post, if that makes sense. I'm totally whacking this slide here, but you get the idea, right? So yes, we can show different things to different people depending on post, page, category, and in some technologies, tags. Okay, I'm moving on. If I missed your question, drop it in again. I apologize. Who's No Fuss Kitchen? I have no idea. So unmute if that's you.
It's mine.
Donna? Okay, Donna. Donna has been looking forward to this for all her life without even knowing it, really.
Absolutely.
It's all come to this. Donna, you are so friendly and introductory here. Hi, I'm Donna. I'm happy to welcome you. If that's you and your voice and your style, then yeah, you should do it. You've seen how I do it in the others. You have to do what feels right for you. If the other way makes sense to you, or there's some in between, at this point, I don't need to legislate that. I think you get what we're doing. But should I get to the point? Yes. Before I go too far here, is there something specific you want me to look at? Because you have heard me say some of the other stuff. I don't want to just repeat things.
Well, I mentioned there, you said get to the point, so I don't need to put a whole bio of like who I am. I could mention my 30-year cooking experience, but that's all on my website. Does that really make a difference at this point?
No, it does. I think this is a great place for a little tiny humble brag.
Mm-hmm.
That says,
All
this is
right.
why I know the reason I'm putting together this Paris guide is I've been to Paris, 250 times. You don't have to say much more than that. You don't have to say I studied travel and tourism or anything like that. It could be literally I've been there a lot, so I can tell you about it. And you have, in this situation, you've been there a lot. So yeah, but again, I can't, you already know the answer to this. You just have to find
Okay.
that balance. Just
Okay.
know that people aren't going to read very much. And so
Mm-hmm.
what you do is you write it, take it and drop it into ChatGPT and say, can I get this punchier? Can I get this shorter? By the way, punchier is a good ChatGPT prompt if you're just looking for a real simple one. The word punchy is good for email copy. All right, do you get close to grocery day and look in your fridge and the only thing left is a head of broccoli? Oh, great, just broccoli. Okay. Um, why did you choose this broccoli recipe pasta?
It's my favorite. It does well, and I literally do make it 52 times a year
Okay. Because it tastes
because I
great
love
and it's
it.
easy. Okay.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Like I said it like further down, my grandmother made it, and it's my favorite, and blah blah. But maybe that's just too many blah blah words.
No, no, no. I want more variety in this email. We can feature the broccoli pasta, but if that didn't hit me, I want to know your other favorites. Do you have
You
two
mean
or
in
three
the
more?
well, you're talking about because this is the first one in the 5 day. Like I've split it up into different recipes for different um, based on their ease. Like basically, it's 5 recipes that I think like everyone wants to have in their back pocket, kind of thing. But you're saying I should um, make it make it more specific.
I want you to think roundups.
Okay.
I the only reason I'm really coming off authoritative on this, aren't I? Like you must do this. The only reason I know
No.
this is because I work with so many
Mm-hmm.
recipe creators and I've just seen the difference in clicks.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you said these are my favorite cookies,
Mm-hmm.
the problem that you're solving is cookie inspiration. Now, I might love chocolate chip cookies. You might love oatmeal raisin. You would be wrong, of course, but in that email, it would make sense for somebody to accommodate both you and I. The way that we're solving the email is about the best cookies to make, and then these happen to be the ones to make. So the variety almost does it just because our taste buds are different.
Okay. So
So
you're saying I could make like the first one about pasta and tell them that my first, like, this is the one I like, but
and
hey, if
then
broccoli is not your thing, well, then here are like a couple more recipes kind of thing. That is that what you mean?
yeah, yeah. You actually made me think
Okay.
of a really dumb idea that I've never done before. But uh, when I was a kid, I don't know why, me and my siblings, we had this box of lists and we would keep updating the lists. And it would be like, my 5 favorite this, my 5 favorite animals. And, I remember this as a little kid. It was a thing my mom had us do. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
you could actually say, here are my 5 favorite pastas ranked by order of favorites. Now, you don't have to do that, but that personalizes you and it
Yeah.
puts some, almost a David Letterman top 10 thing on it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do that for pastas. You could do that then for vegetables. You could do that for
Right.
desserts.
Right. No, that's cute.
And I think that you will have a lot more engagement in terms of clicks
Okay.
because if the
Right.
word broccoli scares somebody away, you've
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah. You're right.
And if you did
Absolutely.
an Alfredo sauce, all of a sudden they're like, ooh, yeah,
Now they're listening.
yeah. Just a
Okay.
thought.
Yeah.
Um, and in that situation, all the other things I've talked about to this point are also important. And I think
Right.
like the subheader will help you just make it so that the skimmers will
Mm-hmm.
go right to that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
all right, let's talk about subject lines. Um, let's pretend. Do you mind if we assume you're going to do a pasta?
I
All
don't
right.
mind.
Okay. Subject. Hello. All right, everybody, wake up. It's time to work. Donna's been over here sweating bullets, nervous for this moment. She needs to relax. She's worked very hard on this. We are all going to put our heads together and we are going to write subject lines for Donna's email. And the email, the gist of it is my favorite pastas. Okay? Now, that's actually not a bad subject line. But can we do better? So, curiosity plus self-interest. I am going to get over here and I'm going to start typing. I'm not going to look at yours. So, Jenny, don't go looking at mine. You write your own and in the chat, and 100 points to everybody who participates. The points are worth nothing, but wouldn't you rather have points than not have points? So let's go. Let's get it in there. I'm going to get started here. Donna, you don't get to write. You just sit back.
I don't? Okay.
You just enjoy. All right.
I'm thinking.
Okay. Um, um, looks like people are good. Excellent work, team. Oh my goodness, so much free work for you, Donna. Like,
Incredible.
it is incredible. All right.
These are really good.
Let's go through them here real quick. Life-changing, life-changing. See, when you use adjectives like that are that are out of the ordinary, that are a little bit bold, a little bit, you got to stand by them. I think people pay attention. Must have is a good one. Change the game. 5-star pastas, according to readers. Okay, good. Bringing in the readers to that. That's nice. If I could only make 5 pasta to be oh man, you people don't need me. You don't need me at all. Man, my job security out the window. You people are awesome. Pastas made me a rock star. Yes. My family requests these literally these are fantastic, folks. Fuss free. Find your new everybody. Spot on. You plus pasta. Nice. Pasta fairy. Oh my goodness. Look, team, I've never been prouder. My daughter, she scored a soccer goal from like half field. This trumps that moment. Okay, you all have got my heart. Well done. Donna, I hope you're writing those down. I hope everybody is writing
Yeah,
those
yeah,
down.
for sure. Thank
Okay.
you, everyone.
We don't need to spend any more time on that. Look, we've hit the top of the hour. If I have not reviewed yours and you want me to, I will still do that. If you've got to go, the next step, the next homework assignment, go live with this thing. Create your form, create your pop-up. If you are on Kit and you want to do the pop-up thing, I'll be talking about pop-up specifically tomorrow. But if you're decided that you're going to do it, I use pop-ups. There is in the email and autopilot course a very specific way to make a pop-up. Follow it to the letter in Kit if you want to use that, and do the pop-ups the way that I do. Otherwise, you're on your own, but get the forms out there, get the pop-ups, do whatever it takes, go fast, break stuff, make it messy. It's okay. If we screw something up, we'll fix it. It's not a big deal. Do not overthink this, Marta. Go live. We want subscribers and we want them now. Rah rah. Okay. If you got to get, I will see you tomorrow. Let's see. Let me look at what I've got in front of me. I have this one. Don't know who that is. Fermented and Hannah, I've got yours here. Did I miss anybody? If I missed yours, let me know right now if you can. Jessica, okay, gotcha. All right, we'll go through these real fast. Jessica, Jenny's here. Oh, I'm sorry, Jenny. We just drop it in there one more time. I'm so sorry. I'll grab it. All right, Jessica, just for the sake of time, is there something in particular that you want me to dive in here that you've heard me say the other things?
I'm not sure because I just need to apply all the tips that you mentioned tonight. So
Okay.
today. So I'm not sure.
Okay. Over the next 5 days, share your 5 secrets to traditional Italian cooking. Simplicity is everything. Traditional Italian meals, da 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 da. And then you're going to have some recipes, right? I don't see the recipes there, but I assume that you're going to have recipes after.
No, I didn't put the links, but I will.
Yeah. Look, I mean, formatting aside, I think you've got the gist of this here. I like the little emojis here. Try this. Right, for today's tip, it starts with sofrito. The ingredient changes everything. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm just glancing at it, but I'm digging it already.
Mhm.
All right?
Okay.
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 Go make it happen.
Thanks.
Right. Cool. All right. I'm going to hit request access on this one, and then we'll come to, I'm sorry. Tell me who this is. Anybody?
It's me, it's Hannah.
Hi, Hannah. Okay.
Hi.
What do you want me to look at here, Hannah? Anything in particular?
I guess just the overall like format of it, like, and kind of like, am I really doing the presenting a problem and presenting a solution?
That is the big question. Okay. Why did you choose unlock the potential of your sourdough discard? This is different than what Anya's doing.
Yes.
Okay, so people are sitting around with their sourdough discard and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, so like a lot of my most popular recipes use sourdough discard, so I figured that's what I should focus on.
Okay. Can I ask a dumb question?
Mhm.
Is sourdough discard the same thing as sourdough? I mean, like, I'm
Yeah,
going to
so
make recipes, sourdough recipes.
So it's basically like the part of your sourdough that you're not using to make bread.
Okay.
So it's just like basically like a fermented like flour and water, and you can use it in like other bakes.
Okay, so I can't answer this for you of whether this solves a problem. I'm
Okay.
obviously not a sourdough baker.
Mhm.
But if people are sitting around going, man, I've got this discard and I don't know what to do with it, and that is related to the recipes that you are putting out there, then I think that you're probably on the right path. And other folks on this call could probably chime in on that better, on whether that hook is hooky enough. If you ever wonder why sourdough recipes tell you to throw away part of your sourdough, you're not alone. I've wasteful food. Da, 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 da. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Humble brag. Let me humble brag your humble brag. That's award-winning blogger, author of Sourdough Cookbook. So I've answered this question more times. The brag is in context with what she's about, why she's bringing that up. I've had to answer this question because I'm so awesome. I love that. I hope you take notes, people. That's a great way to do it. And by the way, the number is everything, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Social proof.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. I got excited there, Hannah.
Thanks.
The benefits of sourdough discard, and then you have the recipes. Yeah, I can't really comment on it because I
Okay.
don't know the problem very well, but it looks to me like If it were me, I'd probably just do a few formatting things just to make it easier to
Okay.
read. But
Just like it's a little, some of them are a little
yeah,
long.
just some bolds here or some subheaders here and there
Mhm.
just to break up the text. And then go back through it with the eye of, does this have to be in here?
Yeah.
Because some of this, you're actually giving some of the information away in the email,
Mhm.
or are you giving the information away in the email that you don't have to, that they're going to click on it and they're going to go get the answer? So that would be just another question.
Yeah, so the emails kind of just background, and then I really focus on the recipes and the
Love it.
links.
Okay, so what I want to do is like, why do you choose the, whatever your subheader here might be, whatever the overarching theme is for these 5 recipes,
Okay.
my 5 favorite breads, or these are creative,
Right.
or yeah, great. I'm not gonna dig into it too much. I love the direction you're going. Don't
Okay.
overthink it. I think you're
Okay.
ready to go.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Easy summer desserts. Why isn't anybody doing like the secrets to the world's hardest summer desserts? Nobody's doing that one. It seems like an opportunity. Whose is this?
It's mine.
Hi, Mandy. No bake desserts are your best friend when social proof is not your best friend. You can have 2 best friends, I guess. Okay, what am I going to tell you?
I don't have any. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick right now, so my brain's not working so well. But like about me, like why they should listen to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's. I think that in this case, it isn't necessarily about you and your background. That's nice if you can put the humble brags and stuff in there, but it isn't mandatory. What I'm looking at here is, I just want that initial introduction. What problem are we solving? And you kind of do it here. It's just maybe just that, the order of things. If we did. Something like that, right? Um, I'm so predictable. Over the next 5 days,
So I only did 3 in mine.
over the next 3 to 5 days, I will Okay. We will I'll share with you recipes that don't use the oven, but by golly, are going to make your summer the most delicious summer ever. Whatever.
I might be a little bit. Maybe I went too generic because I'm only doing no bake the first email, then the next actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. I didn't read the whole thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So instead of this is summer's here. It's hot out. This is super basic, right? But you see what I'm doing?
Mhm.
Okay. And then secret number 1, no bake dessert to your friend. And you got your subheader right there. Sound good?
Mhm.
Awesome. All right. Hannah can hear your voice in this email. So that's working. Hey, do you want me to look at anything else, Mandy? Feel good about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty generic. I'm not sure if it's too, but my site is also reasonably easy and generic. Like I don't have a super specific niche like sourdough or Lebanese food or
sourdough Lebanese cooking. That's a whole niche. So go with this, get it out there, refine it, and get happier with it later. It's more important that you get it out, especially when you're not feeling well. If you can just get something out, because my guess is that this is better than anything else that you have as far as a lead magnet right now.
Mhm.
All right. Awesome. I give us all permission for these not to be perfect and not to be where we want it to be at the end of, when we are the perfect emailers, but to start with. I want to eat some fermented food. That sounds awesome. Allison, talk to me, Allison.
Yeah, so this is for the person that doesn't really necessarily want to do home fermentation, although they could. I do have instructions on my site, but it's more for someone who just likes kimchi or likes sauerkraut or is just interested or curious about how they might uh, add more of those foods to their meals. And I try not to get into health reasons because I'm not a doctor, so I'm just assuming that the person has some interest and wants to
Yeah,
get more inspiration,
gotcha.
basically.
Okay. Is just playing devil's advocate, is it possible that any big chunk of your traffic is Googling something with no intention for fermented?
So that's sort of my dilemma because just the season that I'm in right now, I've been preparing tons of just simple food recipes that don't involve fermented foods just for my own family.
Mhm.
And those have been doing really well because they involve minimal ingredients. They're super easy. So that's a large chunk of my traffic. But another chunk and sort of my niche and my passion is fermented foods.
Yeah,
So I don't, it's a 4-year-old blog. I don't know if that's the ultimate direction I'll go in, but for now, that's where I am.
that makes perfect sense. All right, thanks for explaining that. If we were working together, I would probably um, do exactly what you're doing here, which is, look, we know that fermented, whether it's the biggest part or it's of current traffic, we know that it is foundationally important part of our messaging and our brand. And that while we may not know exactly who to dangle this in front of, we will figure that out. And so creating a guide like this makes a lot of sense. That will have its uses. It may not be, Allison, your number one list growth driver. My gut tells me it probably isn't. That doesn't mean it's not worth doing, especially when you're going through this process of learning the technique and the technology to make this happen. So if I'm you, I bang this thing out and I put it out there live. And then I very, very quickly, I go to the Google traffic. I dissect it by where's the traffic coming to and figure out, is there some other pattern that is not about fermented food? If it is all about fermented food, great, we are solid. But if it is not, it just so happens that you have a Reuben, classic Reuben sandwich, and somebody just want to make a Reuben, they don't care the fact that sauerkraut is fermented. It just happens to be an ingredient on a Reuben that they're going to make. Then we would figure out a different lead magnet for those people because you can serve them and you want to serve them. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be my approach in terms of like lining up the strategy here.
So I actually did a separate series at first just for like simple minimal ingredient recipes, how to get dinner on the table fast.
Okay.
And then I just didn't feel like it was like really me. Like that's not the purpose of my blog. So, but would it make more sense to push that out and then only put this one on this category?
Oh, so this is just for this category.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Would it make more
Yeah.
sense,
Maybe.
to show this to who might actually be interested?
It's a really tough one for me to answer for you because you're clearly investing in becoming the fermented foods subject matter expert, right? That's where you want to niche down and separate yourself. It just so happens that you have other things
Right.
as well. So I probably still start here now because I know that this is important to the brand and foundational, and I want it to be
Right.
part of things.
Okay.
But we have to be willing to acknowledge that it may not attract as many subscribers.
Yeah.
Now, if you put out something else that will attract more subscribers, then the question is a brand journey. because you have all these recipes aren't fermented. Can you serve people with that? Yes. One happy dish is happy to serve them.
Yeah.
You can keep mentioning fermented. You could have in a footer, for example, that says, look, I cook all sorts of things. My specialty and my expertise is, really in fermented foods. If you want to learn more about that, click here. In the meantime, enjoy this breakfast, So that's probably how I do it, because we still want to pay the bills. We want the traffic. Who knows where, you may turn out to be the fiber person or the breakfast person. We don't want to limit ourselves there.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's your strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is great. I can see already. I like the format. I like what you're doing here. I just want more recipes front and center. I want
Okay.
more suggestions.
Okay.
Because a list is good. These roundups are always good. But if I came here, I need practical advice. Go make a Reuben
Yeah.
or whatever. I might drop in here day 4 or maybe even before day 3. Day 3 are my 5 most popular fermented recipes of all time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I was going to do that as the last one. I only got to 3 of them, but that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want me to go over here?
Just a quick technical question. So I use Grow for PrintPass, and I
Okay.
know they have the Spotlight subscribe, which I turned on briefly and I turned it off because I didn't like it. Would you ever recommend that, or do you recommend just going through Kit?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
So I will spend more time on PrintPass tomorrow, when everybody can hear it. I think Raptive is coming out with their own version of PrintPass as well, so it's relevant. I will talk about Spotlight Subscribe at that time as well.
Cool.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Good work. Jenny, I've made you wait so long. Like I really let's see how long she can hang on here. It was just. So we're going to talk about hosting a Southern summer barbecue or cookout. Is this you, Jenny?
That is me.
Okay. Well, the formatting is beautiful. The font is so elegant. I mean,
Yeah.
it just.
It just came up. I don't know.
Why did you choose? This is a very specific topic.
Because here in Charleston, South Carolina, even when it's like 104 degrees, the women appear to be able to pull off these parties in heels and a skirt without breaking a sweat. And this is less about the actual cookout food and more about the supporting cast, all of which are able to be made ahead. And of course, the cocktail at the end. So,
Okay. So you chose that. Those are good reasons. I'm wondering about, does your audience care? Are you getting traffic? Is Martha landing on the page and saying, this solves a problem for me?
I questioned my topic also. I had like 6 others I could have done, and I did that one because I just happen to have a lot of that content right now, like
Yeah.
at the forefront. So, but it doesn't mean I couldn't switch it up to something else.
You've obviously done all this work and it looks great. I would probably finish it and rock with it. I'd probably start here. I'm kind of leaning into what I was telling Allison a little bit. If it wasn't based off of where your current traffic is, then there's a good chance that it may not land with everybody. So
My current traffic was the heaviest. It's still of all times of the year. It's a post titled, Christmas beef tenderloin roast, and then I have a 3-ingredient ham glaze. So everything is like Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, and I'm not even that big of a seasonal person. But yeah, that was like my first 11. I went into analytics and actually saw what terms were being searched for. So, and those were them, and I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna work.
That's tricky. Another thing that you might think about is, how do you make this so the challenges with hosting a Southern summer cookout is that I then have to be the one in charge.
Yes.
It's like I'm throwing a party. You could take this same theme and probably with some very minor tweaks, have it be about Southern summer cookouts without the hosting part.
Yeah, it could also turn into like, a potluck. I mean, I know I'm always scrounging around for like what to take to somebody's house because I get invited to those sort of pool party cookout things a lot.
Yeah,
And you never want to show up without something. So
I feel the same way. So that's that's kind of what I was leaning into there too. Is could you just take the part out that says that so it doesn't sound like I have to figure out how to throw a proper Charleston, genteel party with the hats and everything, and just make it more about general Southern summer crowd friendly get-togethers. You could probably still keep much of the same language. It's just the main thing is that hook. Is just that work on this.
I could definitely switch that around. Hosting could come out for sure.
Yeah.
So, and then I would reword it. So
yeah. Anyway, anything you want me to look at specific besides that?
Well, I think I may have gotten a little too wordy. Each page is an email, and so maybe there's too much in there. I didn't link for the sake of this to my recipes, but those are the recipes. There's 5 in each one.
Yeah. So, like stuff like this would be one of those things where it's like, why these work. It's got, I might put this down underneath the recipes just so that this doesn't get in the way of the recipes. It doesn't hurt anything, but again, because people don't read, they skim. Putting it down towards the bottom would be for the people that do read it all. But some of them are just gonna be like, okay, so here's some 5 sauces and glazes. That one looks good. Let me check that one out. That's really what most people will do. Yeah, same type of thing. Yeah, go with this. Don't change much. Good enough. Let's go. I mean, I aside from the hook is what I care about right now the most.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Not that I
Awesome.
had a question about. Yeah.
Thanks for your patience. Thanks for sticking around. Did I get to everybody? Is anybody still here with me that did not? Oh, no. Sorry. I think I missed Marta. Marta. The heart of Puerto Rican flavor lives in this jar. It's in the jar. There's a heart in a jar. That's gross.
No, stop it.
Welcome to day 1 of 5 secrets to authentic Puerto Rican cooking. If your Puerto Rican dishes are missing that magical abuela touch, don't worry. I'm going to hook you up by the Puerto Rican chef and teacher who spent decades. I'm uncovering or overthinking it. I'm about to really, well, I really like that. That grabbed me right away.
Okay.
I mean, the heart in the jar thing was visually disturbing, but okay.
So delete the top one.
Well,
I like my
the
emojis.
question that you're asking, are you asking the question which of those hooks is more compelling? For
Yes,
me,
because I wrote both of them and I'm like, I don't know. So I just left them up there.
this is poetic and beautiful and I have to think about it. This is like, you're going to tell me secrets? What are the secrets? I must know these secrets. So that's me.
I think I was overthinking. I felt like I was saying secrets too much.
Oh, the secret to using the word secret is to use it a lot.
Okay.
Well. The thing about secrets, if you genuinely have them, you're conveying to people that, I know something that you don't, and I can help you. And it's a shortcut. It's all of those feelings that come with it. So,
Okay.
Yeah. In your case, Marta,
Mhm.
let's just get something out.
Okay. Yeah.
Let go, you know?
I feel like this bottom one is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm happy with the bottom one.
Yeah, me too.
So then I go into my recipes down here.
Mhm. I think we should get magic jackets. That's awesome. I can't
I
wait
need
to
more
read
emojis,
this.
no?
Yeah, yeah, clearly. No, it's good. This is good. Make it
Okay.
happen.
All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Finally, I can
Um,
do this.
okay. Anybody else?
Sweet.
All right. Wow, this is a really engaged group. We've gone long both days. I love it, actually. So if you are still stuck for any reason, let me help you. If that is any of you still on the call, and I will do my darndest. Otherwise, get out of here. Go write some emails, get it launched. Tomorrow, I'm going to ask you how did it go. So be prepared. Go fast, break stuff. Thanks. All right. We'll see everybody.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. Bye-bye.